Good morning. This is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN. Saturday morning programming brought to you by Outlook Financial Center. And time now for the Mayor's Report with Mayor Michael Beamish.
Well, good morning, Clint, and good morning, David. Good morning to all the people listening to this Troy Community Radio Show.
Well, last weekend we saw all the kids downtown for Halloween. And then this week, we saw the fountain turn off again, had some work done to it. We got a chance to get the preview of the new lights. And now we're going to get the preview here shortly of the big green box.
The green box sends a message to everybody that a grand illumination and the tree placement is coming. We'll talk about that a little bit later so people can mark their calendars. But, yep, that's a sign of the time.
It's the true sign that fall really is here.
That's true.
And hopefully now that fall is here, we're going to start seeing some leaves fall out of the trees.
It's been a slow process, but hey, I have with me a very special guest today. Good friend of mine, wonderful worker for the city. Our street foreman, Jerry Mullins, is with us today to give us an update on all those trees or lack of tree leaves falling.
Jerry, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Clint. Thank you.
Every year we've always made a point and we go out and do a little raking and collecting to kind of show people, give an example of exactly the right way to, I guess would be the way to say it, to get the leaves moved out to the street and keeping the gap and everything between the curb and the pile of leaves. How is it going so far this year? Because we still got a lot of green leaves.
Yeah, so far this year we've had our sucker out, and he's managed to complete the whole first round through the city, and I think we had a total of 9 or 10 truckloads total. Some people, their leaves, some of their leaves have fallen, but for the most part, the trees are still green and the leaves aren't falling. So I could foresee us picking up leaves well into January, as long as God forbid we get hit with any large snows. I know it's frustrating when people get them out to the curb and then we have a plowable snow and we're plowing them back in the yard, but unfortunately that's where we're at right now.
It's the nature of the beast.
It is. The leaves just aren't falling till middle of November, December, and if I stick everyone in the department out picking them up, if they all fall at one time, you're still looking at a couple of months of leaf collection, and that's everybody going out every day. So unfortunately, I'm hoping people don't get frustrated, but when they start falling, we can't be everywhere at once. We will follow the zones and stay on schedule as much as possible, but it's just going to be one of those years where the leaves are going to not be cooperative.
Now the zones are posted on troyohio.gov on the website, so people can go and see exactly what it is. But you start at the west side of town and make your way east.
Pretty much that's it. We start west, and then we work our way all the way down to the east end of Troy, and then we cross the river and do all the Heritage Hills, Culbertson Heights areas. And once they do start falling, you mentioned something about the gap and placing the leaves out. We still have our crews out picking up tea bags every day,
right,
on your trash day. So if you don't want your leaves sitting in front of your house, you'd rather put them in tea bags. Of course, if you got two big giant elm trees or oak trees, you're going to spend $4,000 on bags.
Yeah, that's a lot of bagging.
I think I'd just rather have them set there till the city gets them. If you do place them out that way, just leave that 12 to 18 inch gap between the curb and the back of your leaves. And normally, I break my leaves out. I know how that works. You do that, and then after 3 or 4 days of wind and them sitting there, they kind of creep back towards the curb. If you can keep them, that gap in there, though, that helps if we do have rain like we're about to over the next 3 days. From washing them down to the gutter, they fill up the catch basin, and then the water's got nowhere to go. So we really ask that you try to keep it that way if at all possible. And speaking of the catch basins, if you've got one in front of your house, raking the leaves off those catch basins so the water can find its way into the storm drains.
Right. It's just like when Mayor and I have talked before with the fire hydrants. You wouldn't bury that in snow. You want to keep that shoveled and cleared away so it would be seen. You want to make sure that you keep those storm drains, if you've got that in front of your house or close to your house, see that those are kept obstruction free, that there's no debris, anything that could plug it up or wash down in. I would hate to think what would happen if it clogs underneath the ground.
Oh, yeah.
what you have to go through to clear that out.
Yeah, that involves bringing out vac trucks and sucking those out and jetting the lines, and
It's-
really it's preventable, but to some extent it is. I mean, you're going to get some in there. I mean,
Right.
The leaves start flying, they're all over the place, but it does, every little bit helps to keep as much debris as you can from washing down those gutters. And that includes brush. The city of Troy only has you place your brush out and tie it. If it's small enough that it can go in a tea bag, we pretty much beg you to put it in a tea bag. We don't want loose tree limbs. Over the last few days, we've had those high winds,
Right.
and I've noticed quite a few piles, little tiny piles of brush out in front of people's houses. The sweeper can't sweep those up because it clogs the hoses. We don't pick them. We don't have guys out picking up little piles of brush like that. So we ask that you put those in a tea bag, or just tie them with a piece of twine, something that the guys can just go by and grab it. And if it's tied up, normally a bundle of brush isn't going to wash down the gutter, but little single pieces of it will. So we ask that you tie that or put it in a tea bag, and we still do that. We do that throughout the winter. If you have a tree come down or limb, we are always out year round picking up tea bags and brush. So that's something you always have an option of. The dump, you can take it down to the dump until the weekend of Thanksgiving, the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
So the Dye Mill Road facility is still an option now.
Thank you. It's Dye Mill Road. I got a bad habit of calling it the dump. But it is the Dye Mill Road facility. Yeah, you can take your brush down there. The hours are posted on the website. We're basically open 5 days a week. We're closed on Wednesdays and Sundays, and we're open from 11 to 7 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 to 3 on Saturdays.
And if they wanted, they could take their leaves over there as well.
Yes, you can take your leaves. A lot of people do that. A lot of people take bags of leaves down there and dump them, or truckloads or trailer loads. That's also an option until the week after Thanksgiving.
Well, that's where I was kind of going with the leaves not falling, and they are going to all start at one time. If somebody has a truck and they're breaking up the leaves in their yard, toss them in there and take them over to the Dye Mill Road facility.
You can do that.
And kind of free you guys up to get the people that wouldn't be able to transport them out.
Jerry, we talk about the biodegradable tea bags, but actually we've changed our policy
Right.
too. You may want to share that any bag, as long as it's biodegradable, we will pick up.
A paper, a paper bag.
Right, that is a great point, Mayor. We still have a few of the city of Troy tea bags left, but under the new guidance from council and the mayor and Patrick, we've decided that we're going to let people buy, because we were running a place where people would go out and buy 10 Menards bags or 10 Lowe's bags, and under the old policy, we only collected city of Troy bags. Now, if you're at Lowe's, you want to buy 5 Lowe's bags, you can put any bag out you want. It's just as long as it's paper and it's biodegradable, because the EPA will not allow us to take any, because you got bags out there that are made of corn and all kinds of stuff. The EPA will only allow at our compost facility the paper biodegradable bags. So yeah, that's a great point. You can buy any bag as long as it fits that category, and place it out now, and the city will pick it up.
Excellent. So leaf collection, you're on round 2. If you've got any leaves, get them out. Get them out in the street, about a foot away from the curb. They'll be good. And if you have the big branch come down to the yard, we were talking about that, make sure you cut that up into manageable sizes.
Right.
It isn't just hauling that big giant branch out and you guys will come get that. It needs to be, what, about 3 foot length?
Yeah, 3 to 4 foot lengths, and then you can put 6, 8, 10 of those together and bundle them up, and the guy can tie them. And it really helps, because if you get somebody puts out a big old giant pile that's just mixed in and not tied up and bundled, then it's only one guy doing that job. So it's hard for him to get through both trash routes, 1,800 or so stops on the trash route that day. If everybody just throws it out there heely-neely, not only does it go into the gutters, but he's not going to be able to collect it all.
Right.
So it's really imperative that we get it out there in manageable piles, so the guy can get everybody's brush, not just one house that's decided to tear all their bushes out and throw them out there. So put it out there in manageable sizes. If you got a giant tree or a bunch of bushes and stuff that you want to get rid of, throw them in a truck, throw them on a trailer, and take them down to Dye Mill.
All right. Hey, Jerry, thank you so much for the tips. we like to keep everybody up to date, exactly what's going on with the city and what you can do on your part to make sure it goes smoothly.
And I will add that the citizens in town are great at that. It's fantastic. Everyone in this town seems to really take a great pride in what their house looks like. They don't want to just throw piles of nasty material out in front. So I would credit the citizens. They make our job a whole lot easier and a whole lot better, and we appreciate that.
That's excellent to hear. It's just one more reason Troy's a great town to live in.
Jerry Mullins and his crew they take their job very seriously. You can sense that in what Jerry was sharing today. The pride is not only citywide, but it's also with our staff wide too.
Well, I say it all the time. I'm downtown Troy. Bright and early before it's bright and anyone else would consider being awake. So I get the opportunity to see what the guys are out doing in the morning. And there's always a lot of activity happening in downtown Troy just to make sure that everything looks good and is functioning right. That's what it takes.
And thank you, Jerry, for taking time out of your busy day to come here and share what you've shared today.
Not a problem, Mayor. Thanks.
We had started talking about the tree placement, putting the
Right.
box is going to be going in, and when does the tree actually head downtown?
Well, we have said the week of November the 5th, but that's all weather permitting. I always clarify that. But we are targeting a Thursday, November the 8th, as the actual day where we will place the tree. And that's a lot of effort on a lot of people, including Piqua Steel, who helps us come and use the crane, plus our park and our electricians. A lot of people it takes, plus the donor of the tree is also going to be down there, and so it's a good way.
But we don't know. That's still top secret.
I'm keeping that a little closer to the day.
Under your hat.
Right. So, but that is going to take place very soon, and I should mention that also the Santa House. Everybody asks, when's the Santa House going to go? Because that really kicks off the Christmas season.
It's when you know. When you see that here, you know it's getting close.
And that's going to be on a Monday. Again, I'm going to clarify weather permitting because we want to have the right elements. So let's put it that way. But that'll be November 12th that you'll see on Prouty Plaza. The Santa House goes up.
It's not like it really rolls downtown on wheels. It kind of does, but then there's again cranes involved.
It's like building a house.
Yes,
and it is. It's so well equipped as well. But also, I'll mention, also taking place during this whole season is the Holiday Welcome Weekend. And that's when we really test the downtown lights. But there are 5 different communities in Miami County participating on November 15th, 16th, and 17th with a holiday welcome in their downtown areas to support the small businesses and to kick off the Christmas holiday season. So I want to mention that. We're going to light the lights.
Not the tree.
Not the tree. And then we'll after we test those lights for those 3 days, we'll shut them down. And then the next biggest event will be the grand illumination in downtown Troy, which will be Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, on November 23rd. We're planning, so you can make your arrangements. At 7 o'clock, we will start the countdown. 7 o'clock, we want you to be down if you want to be a part of that countdown.
All right, so we stuff ourselves with turkey on Thursday, and then we come down and light the tree on Friday.
After you take your nap.
After the nap at 7 o'clock. So, and there's a lot of entertainment that goes on during that.
Absolutely.
Always look forward to it. Love the month before Christmas when you read that and Santa Claus comes in on the fire truck. It just makes for a great holiday feeling. Very Norman Rockwell.
That's a good way to put it. That's right. Downtown Troy.
All right. Also, you had pointed out grand illumination this year. We've got a full moon.
Yeah, we do. It's ironic, expected to be a full moon, and that's part of the month before Christmas. We'll build that into the actual poem.
And as we think of all the things that are kind of going through that change for the fall, I want to bring up 2 time changes tomorrow night at 2 a.m.
That's critical. We fall back, which a lot of people like that time because it gives them an extra hour. So, but we do fall back on November 4th.
Look
Good
forward.
point.
Look forward to that. That way, we get a little extra light in the morning, or at least sometimes it seems like it.
That's a good point.
Or it's just an optical illusion. Make the day feel a little bit longer again. All right, council is coming up.
We'll have council at the regular Monday on November 5th, 7 o'clock at City Hall. And the agenda will be coming out very shortly, and if not already, so people can take a look at that. But also, you and Troy Community Radio, we do a live stream, and so people can sit at home and see what's going on with city government.
Absolutely. Mayor, thank you so much for being here. Jerry, thank you for being here as well.
Can I throw in one more thing?
You sure can.
For the veterans.
Oh, that's right.
I really want to mention this because this is unique. The 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour at Riverside Memorial Veterans Park, we will have our regular observance of Veterans Day. That is a Sunday. So many people will need to mark their calendars. I know many have worship service. They'll have to make a decision, a choice. Both are very important in this country at this point in time, too. But I do want to mention that that will take place on a Sunday at 11 o'clock on November 11th.
Maybe an opportunity to catch early service that morning, and then you can make it out at 11.
Absolutely, do both.
Okay. Mayor, thank you so much. This has been the Mayor's Report with Mayor Michael Beamish. I'm Glenn Myers on 107.1 WTJN.